It's me. Hi, I'm your favorite libertarian, it's me. Today we'll answer the question, does the TLR-7 HLX render the TLR-1 HL obsolete? In this video, please enjoy the following segments. What's in the box? Mode. The spec off. Beam comparisons. And final thoughts. Before we get to all of that, I want to make you aware of a few websites, one of which is yourfavoritelibertarian.com. You can click on my link in the description or the pinned comment. It takes you to that website if you can't figure out how to spell libertarian. And there is where I have all of my discount codes and links. So if you want to help support the channel, buy cool stuff, and save money, that's the best way to do it. Also, I want to give a shout out to southpawdraw.com. If you're a lefty and you're looking for anything tactical, any accessories or anything else, check out that website. You'll be glad you did. Christian, small business owner, help support him as well. The last order of business is that I take prayer requests. So if you have any of those, put them in the comment section below. I love praying for you guys. Now, without any further ado, let's get on to the actual video. And now it's time for everyone's favorite portion of the video, what's in the box? This is the portion of the video where I show you what's in the box. Wow, special effects, insane, crazy. All right, so this is what comes in the box minus the flashlight and the battery. The battery is the SLB9 battery, rechargeable, which is why you get this USB-C charging cable, and you get some other stuff. So let's talk about that. We have a bunch of these adapters for the rails. There's some universal ones to work with weird ones like Glock and other proprietary systems. And then you also have the 1913 variants. Also, you get some smaller switches. If you do want smaller switches, you can use those instead of the ones that come on the flashlight. And you get a tool to swap everything out. I will say this, one thing I wish they did with this tool, it's great that they provided it, but what's not great is that this is very brittle plastic, so just trying to tighten the flashlight onto the gun, I bent and mangled that. So, you know, if they are gonna include this, I'd prefer it to be metal. That would be great, but probably would increase your cost, so I don't know. Just use a screwdriver, I guess. Also, you get a sticker, which, you know, who doesn't like stickers? And you get an owner's manual, and inside the owner's manual, guess what I found, guys? I found a key that tells you what adapters go with what guns. Sadly, mine isn't on here, but don't worry. It is the 1913-3 for the SIG P365 X Macro Comp, and probably a lot of the other SIGs that use the 1913 rail. In true Streamlight fashion, we have an excellent manual showing you all sorts of things with pictures and words, which I really appreciate, showing you how to remove and exchange all the bits and pieces that come in the box, the lockout mode, how to install the battery, all the good stuff you want to know. The next page is where it gets real interesting because there's a lot of very unique programming options for this light, which we'll get into right now, but rest assured, they're all detailed in here, right in this section. Hey, look who made it to the party, everybody. It's the SIG P365 X Macro Comp. The first mode this model is going to help me with is going to be strobe mode. Now don't worry, if you don't want strobe, it's automatically disabled from the factory, but if you want it, here's what you do. Using either one of these switches, starting from the off position, you're going to tap rapidly 10 times. The 10th time that you tap, you're going to hold it down, and then once the light turns off from that, you'll know that strobe mode was successfully enabled. So I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold. There we go. So now we have strobe mode. Now, if we don't want strobe mode anymore, all we have to do is that same process in reverse. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold. Turns off, and now no more strobe. There you go. That's strobe mode. Now let's move on to the next mode. This next setting is a really weird one, and I'll explain what I mean. From the factory, by default, you have strobe disabled, and you have 1,000 lumens and a 30-minute runtime on the SLB9 battery. But if you want to, you can actually change that to 500 lumens and an hour runtime, so essentially cutting your lumens in half and doubling your runtime with the same battery. If you want to do that, this is how you do it. I'm going to hold one of these switches down the whole time, and the other switch is what I'm going to be doing the 10-tap programming with. So right now we're on 1000 lumens, and what we're going to do to switch to the 500 lumen mode is hold this down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold. Everything shut off. So now we are now on 500 lumens, and we have an hour runtime. Now if we want to go back, again, I'm going to hold this particular switch down the whole time, and I'm going to do the 10 tap on this side. So holding it down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, hold. There we go. Now we're back to 1000 lumens. That probably was pretty weird because it is, but that is an option you have if you want it. And now, as promised, the spec off. This is the portion of the video where we put these two lights head to head to see who comes out on top. First, let's talk about the basic specs of these two lights. The TLR-1 HL is sporting a runtime of 1.5 hours with two CR123A batteries, and it's putting out 1000 lumens and 20,000 candela. The TLR-7 HLX has only a 30-minute runtime, but with that rechargeable battery, it is putting out 1000 lumens and 22,000 candela. So it's smaller, lighter, and brighter, and throwier, I guess, than the Big Brother, but at the cost of less runtime. Now, one thing that the TLR-7 HLX has over its Big Brother is that it is dual fuel, meaning it can take that SLB9 battery that's rechargeable or the CR123A battery. That being said, if you do so, you are going to cut your lumens and candela in half, going from 1000 lumens to 500 lumens and going from 22,000 candela to 11,000 candela. On the plus side though, you are increasing your runtime from 30 minutes to an hour and a half, which puts the runtime on par with the TLR-1 HL. So we talked a lot about the different batteries that these two lights take. Let's talk about how to load the batteries into these two lights. The TLR-7 HLX has a front-loaded system, so you simply unscrew this head and out comes the battery. The TLR-1 HL, you have to remove this light first from whatever weapon you have it on, and then this door opens up and you can load your batteries in that way. The cons to this system are that if you want to make sure that this is super secure, you can't use any type of Vibratight or Loctite to make sure that this isn't coming loose. Whereas this one you can kind of set it and forget it, and then simply remove the head to replace your batteries or change them out when you need to. So I'm going to have to say that this is a better system over its big brother. Let's talk about controls. Now this, I'm going to let you guys know right away, I do have a lot of bias in this particular camp because I am more of the TLR-1 HL camp, simply due to the fact that it is a much more natural activation from drawing the gun. So when I go to bring my support hand up and turn my elbows out to get that vice grip, I'm simply bringing my thumb up, coming up along the slide, and then I have that master grip. And then when I'm done, I just come back down. So it's a lot more natural motion for me, but this is something for a right-handed person that's going to be different than someone who's a left-handed person, because going up is constant, but going down is momentary. So if I try to do the same thing, roll my hand up like this, if I'm left-handed, this is what happens. It's just momentary. So that is something that is different for left-handed people than it is for right-handed people. So if you're left-handed, you might not like these controls. You might actually like the TLR-7 HLX more because it's the same on both sides. You have your momentary by clicking, your constant by holding, and it's the same exact thing on the other side. But for me, it's not as natural to activate. I basically have to get to my main grip like this, and then come back down with my thumb, turn it on, and then go back to my grip. So it's an extra step for me if I'm drawing and then turning on the light with this setup than with this one, but I am also right-handed, and I also have the bias of training with this a lot more. Before we get to the beam comparisons, we need to talk about holster availability. Now, obviously this light being around much longer than this one over here, there's going to be way more holster companies making holsters for this light and a combination of guns. Also, companies making holsters specifically just for the light, and it doesn't matter what gun you have attached to it, inside the waistband and outside the waistband. This definitely wins for holster availability. Beam comparisons. These lights are both pretty similar in performance, but there were two things that I noticed. One thing that I noticed was that with the TLR-1 HL, it actually had a bit wider of a hot spot, and the spill didn't seem like it was as noticeable. The TLR-7 HL had a tighter hot spot, and it also was a cooler light than the TLR-1 HL temperature-wise, so it just looked whiter of a light than the TLR-1 HL. And you can really tell the differences a lot better in the pictures that I took with both of these lights. I didn't change any settings for the camera while recording the video or while taking these pictures, but this should give you a good idea. And I would say that the additional candela did help it throw a little bit further, but you know, obviously it's only 2,000 more candela, so not by much. All right, so we've done the what's in the box segment, all the modes. We've also pinned these head to head against each other in the spec off, along with the beam comparisons. So I think all that's left to do now is final thoughts. So let's get into those final thoughts right now. Pew, 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 pew. I think what we have to do is answer that question that we posted at the beginning of this video, which was, does the TLR-7 HLX render the TLR-1 HL obsolete? I think that's fair, right? And the answer to that question is the proverbial, it depends. It wouldn't be a YouTube comparison video without someone saying that, am I right? And what it depends on is what you're going to be using the light and the gun attached to it for. If you are looking to strictly have the smallest, lightest, most compact light for your EDC gun, this is probably going to be the move, because it does all the same things that this light does performance-wise, and a little bit better performance-wise, in a much smaller, lighter package, similarly to this gun compared to this gun. Both have the same amount of rounds, both shoot the same bullet, both are similar in shooting performance, but this is much smaller, lighter, and thinner. A lot of guns out there like that. This is just a representation of that, but if you do want to see a specific breakdown and versus mode of these two guns and the overall packages and overall EDC setups for these two, stay tuned because I'll have a video on that. But we're getting distracted. Back to this light. If you're okay with the trade-offs, and there are trade-offs, this is going to be the light to go with. But let's talk about the trade-offs. The trade-offs, again, are going to be runtime. So if you're okay with 30 minutes, cool, get this one. If you are okay with having the same runtime as that other light, but you're okay with the drop down in performance down to 500 lumens and down to 11,000 candela, this is the way to go. However, if you're not okay with that, and you're not okay with there being limited holster options, then you probably want to go with this one. And why would you be okay with those things? Well, probably because you are wanting to use this either in a situation where you don't care about bulk for your EDC, or you're carrying outside the waistband, in which case full-size gun, full-size light makes more sense, because those really aren't concerns. The concern is having good performance and good runtime. And probably, you know, the availability to run this in like a Safariland holster or something like that. If those are your criteria, then this makes more sense. Or if you're just okay with carrying a bigger gun and a bigger light, this makes sense. I personally carry this gun and this light as my EDC setup right now. And there is a video coming where we're going to be figuring out if this is going to make more sense and be something that I either just carry in the summer to have something smaller and lighter in the summer, or if it's going to replace this gun. So again, stay tuned, subscribe, you know the drill. I think both of these lights are good in their own right. It just depends on what you're going to do with it. to determine which one you should pick. And if you have two different kinds of setups, it might make sense to get both. I don't know. You might have more than one handgun. You have more than one hand, so it would just make sense, right? Would this be a good time to plug the website again? If you do want to pick up either of these lights, you can click on my primary arms link. I believe they're usually having like a 12% off sale. If you made it this far in the video, let everybody else know you did by typing either TLR-1 HL or TLR-7 HLX in the comment section to let me know and them know not only that you stayed to the end of the video, but what your pick is out of these two lights. And as always, thanks for watching, stay free, and God bless.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.